The opinions expressed in this video reflect the opinions of the participants only and do not reflect the opinions of the producer or Cornell Law School. Cornell Law School and/or Cornell University in no way endorse this video. Located in Ithaca in upstate New York, Cornell Law School is one of the 5 Ivy League law schools. Housed in a large Gothic structure, the school looks the part as well. Although the law school first opened in 1887, it was moved in 1937 to Myron Taylor Hall. The law school has remained there since, with a modern addition opened in 1988. Cornell Law is located on the edge of the main campus, adjacent to the College Town area. Although Cornell is one of the smaller of the top law schools, it still offers a broad array of coursework and houses one of the largest law libraries in the country. It is also one of the 12 depositories for print records of the United States Supreme Court briefs. In addition, Cornell has one of the most highly regarded LLM programs in the country. The U.S. News & World Report ranked Cornell as the 13th top law school in the country for 2010. Located in relatively small and rural Ithaca, Cornell is surrounded by natural beauty, yet is only about a 4-hour drive to New York City. Cornell also has the 3rd lowest student-to-faculty ratio of all 184 ABA-accredited law schools, at 9.9 to 1. Let's meet some students.
Michael Francisco. I went to Hillsdale College in Michigan, a small liberal arts school.
My name is Liz Hanks. I went to the University of Texas at Austin for my undergrad. I am currently a 2L, which means I just finished my first year and I'm started on my second year.
My name is Scott Hudson. I'm a 3rd-year student at Cornell Law School, and I am married. I went to undergraduate at Baylor University in Waco, Texas.
My name is Kiernan Joliet. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. I actually went to undergrad in Canada at the University of Guelph. So part of the reason that I chose Cornell is because it has an amazing international law program. Here, Cornell is really known for its international law opportunities, and the program that I'm taking part in will give me not only the law degree, but also a master's in international and comparative law in the 3 years that it would normally take to get your regular degree. So I picked Cornell because of that. I'm really looking forward to having some of the international study opportunities. I'll be doing a summer in Paris next summer for the Summer Institute of International and Comparative Law, and I love it here.
Is it easy to study in other parts of the university?
Absolutely. In fact, I'm currently taking a class in the business school as well. It's actually cross-assigned to both the law school and the business school. So you can take some other classes in other parts of the university that may help in your particular area of expertise or where you want to go into.
Why did you choose Cornell Law?
I like the fact that it was a smaller law school in some respects, about 180 students. I also liked that they were a little bit unique in the other law schools that I had taken a look at, in that they were, the professors were not just interested in publishing work, they were also interested in teaching, in fact very interested in teaching.
Well, when I visited the schools that I got into, I liked the smaller size of Cornell, and obviously I think it's got a great reputation and it's a very strong school academically, so I thought I'd get a great education here, and I like sort of the more opportunities to have interaction with professors and other students.
It's sort of a long story. I actually lived in Buffalo for a summer with a guy I was dating at the time, and met some people that went to Cornell undergrad, planted a seed, and I applied, and it just seemed like the furthest place from Texas, so figured it would be an interesting place to check out. Do some snow. You know, I'd never done snow before, so.
Yeah, I was considering mostly between Cornell, Georgetown, and University of Colorado Boulder. Region was a factor. I ended up kind of deciding if I wanted to go to a regional school, which the one in Colorado is sort of the region I was looking at, or to a more national school. And I'm interested in doing a judicial clerkship, particularly a federal one, and so I thought that it'd be much better to be at Cornell. I'd have better chances getting a clerkship here.
What do you plan to do with your degree?
I'm going to do trial work, I think, after I'm finished. Although when I first came in, I thought I was going to end up doing business law more than anything else, but I've sort of branched off from that and more interested in the trial work. I took some trial-related courses and really liked those, and also some courses that were in the criminal law, criminal procedure, and really liked those, I think, and that's sort of what changed my mind. Probably in prosecuting, probably a prosecutor in the end. I'm going to move out west, probably in the Colorado, New Mexico area, and do that.
I always wanted to go to law school. I'm one of those odd birds that you don't see anymore. I probably wanted to go to law school since I was in 2nd or 3rd grade. And now I'm sort of rethinking it. No, I love the law, but coming here has really taken a chunk out of my checking account, and I'm in a lot of debt. So the kind of law I'd probably want to practice, maybe being a prosecutor or a defense attorney, might not be so feasible for the first few years. So yeah, I might have to be a corporate sellout for a while, like many people, and we'll just see.
Probably to a law firm, either in New York City or actually maybe back in Denver. And then next year, since I'm at 2L, I'll probably apply to a bunch of clerkships and see kind of what I get that way.
I'm considering going to Washington, D.C. When I graduate, sort of get the southern/nice weather at the same time. But yeah, I'll probably end up back in Austin. It's just too cool of a city not to go back there.
What would you be doing if you weren't here?
But if I weren't in law school, what would I be doing? Probably working in Austin, maybe doing, you know, activist sort of stuff. Women's rights, certainly. Coming from Texas, that whole Southern mentality is sort of backwards. And there are people in the South that recognize that, and there are people in the South that just, it's sort of a generational thing, and they might never realize that there's a problem. So maybe changing attitudes towards race and sex would be my first issues. Above and beyond that, you know, working on the death penalty in Texas is sort of a huge cause of mine.
How did you find orientation?
It was pretty intense right away, the schoolwork was, but the orientation was great in terms of getting us well-versed in what to expect of the school and what to expect from our professors. So I think everybody was really well prepared. I don't think anybody was too shocked by what the classes were like.
What has surprised you most about your experiences here?
I think one of the things about this experience is that is a little different than anything else is that you wouldn't think that in Ithaca itself that you would find a first-class university like this, and certainly not a first-class law school. There's not much to Ithaca, I guess. And especially out here in what seems to be the countryside to find this law school, it's kind of unusual. It was even surprising to me.
I've learned a lot about just Northeasterners in general, because there's so many people here from New York and the Northeast. And I've never had the opportunity to live in the Northeast. But if you weren't coming from where I came from, I'm not sure. Maybe that people are so friendly, although it is the Northeast.
Probably just that everybody is really serious and really dedicated to what they're doing here. I mean, in undergrad, you get some people that are sort of there to party, and you know, they're there to go to class too as well, but it's sort of not the main focus of their life, and everybody here is a really serious student, but at the same time nobody is just humorless, and everybody is still able to have fun, but there's this sense that we're definitely here to learn, we're here to work.
How have you found the school socially?
I think at any law school you're going to come across people that aren't very social, and that's hard for me. I come from a very social environment and background, and you know, I went to definitely a huge party school for undergrad, and it's hard to coax people out of their shells and entice them into being friendly as opposed to just smart. You can be friendly and smart. It's possible.
I think it's pretty good. I have a lot of friends, obviously a lot of friends at the law school, and people are all very friendly. Obviously College Town's very close, or the area called College Town. A lot of people live there, and everybody walks, you know, back and forth and goes to different events.
Fairly quiet. It's, you know, people do get together. My section has had a couple of get-togethers outside of class. We just had a brunch at our section advisor's house just this weekend. That was a lot of fun. And we've had a couple of happy hours at local bars, but you know, more than that, it's just people will grab lunch together between classes, something like that.
Everybody I know seems to like the smaller town atmosphere, in the sense that you have a lot of opportunity and time to hang out with other law students.
How have you found your fellow students?
There are some really great people, don't get me wrong. I love a lot of the friends I've made here, but you have a hard time getting people to put the books down and you know, be human for a little while.
I'd say everybody works really hard. I mean, I was expecting everybody to be pretty motivated, but everybody spends a lot of hours, I would say, studying for class. Everybody's friendly. Nobody's really competitive in sort of the mean sense, but people do all the readings basically and work pretty consistently throughout the year.
No, I would say collegial. Everybody's willing to help out. I don't think you get some of the stark competitiveness that you hear about in law school. when you miss a class and you need notes, they give them to you. If you don't understand a concept, students get together and discuss it and talk about it. No, I think it's a very collegial atmosphere.
People are really friendly. The people that are, more competitive, in my limited experience, I've found that they left after their first year and gone elsewhere. So no, not at all. People are very friendly. Everyone gives everyone notes if you didn't make it to class, and yeah, I haven't found that to be the case at all.
What do you like or dislike about the school?
This is a pet peeve of mine. You have to pay to become a member of the gym here, and to me, if you pay this much to be at a small private school, the gym should just sort of be a part of it. So should the bus. I think those should just be wrapped up in fees and tuition and all of that. That's the way it was at the University of Texas, and so I guess I'm a snob like that, but we had state-of-the-art facilities, and it was, if you had a student ID card, that was your ticket in. You didn't have to pay any extra. So that bothers me, the sort of incidental fees when I'm already paying a nice chunk.
I like that it's small here. This is a smaller law school than a lot of them, and I think that makes it easier for you to sort of bond with your classmates. And in any law school, you're going to bond because you're all going through the same thing. But here at Cornell, there's just more opportunity, and you get to know everybody much better. And I have a couple of classes that are with my section alone, so there's 30 people. I mean, by the end of our 3 years here, we're going to know everybody really well, and I think we'll have friends for life, we'll have colleagues for life, and I think that's really important because it's hard. Law school is hard. It can be really isolating, and if you have people that you know and they're going through the same thing with you, it's so much easier.
How bad are the winters?
I tried to stay positive. I complained a lot, and that helped me stay positive for some reason. There was a week where it was -20 for about a week, and that was rough. But otherwise, yeah, not so bad. You just have to layer. In Texas, it gets so hot. In fact, I was there this weekend. It was 108 degrees, and we were outside at a music festival all day. And you can't take your skin off. So at least with the winters here, you can just continue to put on more clothes.
Being in rural New York State, do you feel isolated?
Not so much. The school where I went to undergrad was very similar to Cornell in a lot of ways. It's located in a town that's sort of the biggest town of anything around in a rural area, and sort of the local center of anything cultural or artistic. And so I'm used to it. I like that. I'm not one of the people that needs to be in a really big city to be happy. I think some other people are maybe feeling the isolation a bit more than I would be, but I'm happy.
Do you need a car to go to school here?
I don't think so. You can get around pretty well on the public transit.
No, I do have one. I don't live actually on campus, but a lot of students are here without a car at all.
I have a car. You don't need one, but I am a snob about a car, and I love to have my car. Here in Ithaca, it's a very rural atmosphere, so if you don't have a car, you're kind of really stuck on this campus. And it's just so beautiful that it would be a shame not to get out and see the surrounding countryside, in my personal opinion.
I have a car, but I don't drive it to school. I commute on the bus because the public transit here is great. You don't really need one, but it's nice to have it for grocery shopping and things like that. And I live close enough. I grew up in Cleveland, as I said. I can go home. It's only about a 5.5-hour drive, so if I want to go home at weekends, I can, which is nice.
How heavy is the workload?
Being married, I usually try to come in earlier and then leave earlier than most people. So I take the bus in, usually get in around 8, and almost every day I leave around 5. Some days I'll work till about 6, and then I work on some weekends, but usually I'm pretty good at doing my work just in sort of as a job mentality throughout the week until finals come around, and then I study quite a bit more for the week or two before and during finals.
The first year for everyone is pretty high. First of all, because you're sort of learning what you're supposed to be doing. Law school is different than undergraduate, and even different, I think, than other graduate programs in that you do a lot of reading and preparation before class, and then the professor goes over the high points of that. And I think that's different in a lot of respects, and that requires a lot of work on your part as a student to do that. And another thing is not everything is shown to you just, this is the way it is, or the way that it should be. There are a lot of questions that are left for you to answer on your own, either through other research or just as you think about the individual cases and the assignments. So in the first year, I think it's very high. After that, you pick the courses that you're interested in, and you also get to pick your workload to some degree, in the sense that you can pick some classes over others, some that are require more workload than others. I think for most students, though, it's a pretty heavy workload the first and second year. As you get to the third year, I think most students take a little bit less of a load.
Today is actually a bit of an anomaly that I'm going home so early. I had a class canceled today, so I had a chance to do some homework and some reading between classes, but normally I would get home probably around maybe 7 or 8 on a regular day, and then I'd do a couple more hours of studying at home.
Well, I think the people that tell you that your first year is the most difficult are liars. I definitely worked a lot my first year. I was probably in the library at least until 9 or 10 or 11 every night, just depending on what day of the week it was. But I took my weekends, and I did my own thing on the weekends generally. And this year I feel like the weekends are not even my own. And I think that might be a product of being at a small school and getting really involved in some of the extracurricular activities that you can get involved in. If you didn't get involved in things, I think it would be a more laid back year. But interviewing in the fall, the craziness of interviewing and traveling all over really factors into the hecticness of your schedule.
How is the recruiting at the school?
I'd say most people do very well getting the jobs they want. Everybody has a lot of interviews, callbacks, and quite a few offers their fall or second year. So most people, if you want to go work at a private law firm particularly, have a lot of opportunity here. We have 4 or 5 weeks of different firms that come and do on-campus interviews here. But the main job fair interviewing session is about a week long in New York City. There's, I don't know, over 100 firms that went to that.
Have you had much time to explore and go to New York, Boston, or go skiing?
We have gotten away. There is time to do that. There's a break in the fall and the spring that allows you to do that too, if you're interested.
I did some skiing last year, but just locally. And after being, in Colorado and in the Rockies, I don't know that this really counts as skiing. Sort of, you just dip down the hill and then jump back on the lift. But did some skiing. I went to New York a few times. I don't really have a whole lot of friends in New York, so it's, it'd be expensive to go and hang out for the weekend. But I have a friend that just moved to Boston, so hopefully I'll be able to make a couple trips to Boston before the end of the year.
We had the large job fair, the on-campus job fair, so-called, and at a hotel in New York City. So, and a lot of the interview stuff is the regional job fairs either in New York City, or they have one in Boston, Chicago. There's ones in California, Dallas, several other places. So there's pretty good opportunity to go to the major cities you want to do interviews.
How have you found the facilities?
The Cornell hockey team is a big deal. I have not gone to a game yet. I should. But as far as the South is crazy about football. They don't have a fabulous football team. But yeah, people do get together and go to the hockey games, so I'm going to try to do that this year in all my free time.
I think for the most part it's really good. They have a good placement office here. I think the only thing I'm a little bit of an older student, and so my focus is not so much on the social activities at the campus itself, which is a little different, I think. So I'm unique in that regard.
I think Cornell has great support. I'm a huge hockey fan, and I've been able to get season tickets last year and then this year, so I like watching the sports, particularly hockey here, quite a bit. And I think the school facilities are very nice. Obviously, like most places now, wireless internet everywhere, except they block in the classrooms, which actually I think is good because it keeps you from getting too distracted.
Are there any little-known aspects of the program?
I'm not sure people know about how great of a school this is for international law opportunities. And because we are a little bit isolated up here and we're not in a huge major world city, I think people don't think of us necessarily as a place that you would go for really first-class international law stuff, but we are. And Cornell also has a lot of joint degree programs that don't involve international law. You can get your JD MBA, you can do a JD and a philosophy degree. You can design your own joint degree program, which is one of the other reasons I chose this, because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do at first. And really, anything you can think of, you can do here. And because we're partnered with such a huge world-class university, we can do anything.
I think the thing about the law school here is that it's a lot more intimate environment than I think you'd find at other law schools, especially in the sense that the professors have time for you always. I have gone into the law professors' offices and said, you know, I have a question about either what I'm going to take next semester, or I have a question about, you know, what I should do with my law degree when I'm finished, and they always have time for you. They're very, very busy, but they always have time for you, and I don't think that's the case in every law school.
What kind of person might not be happy here?
I think if you're looking for the social life along with the law school experience, in other words, a big city environment, this is definitely not your place.
People that need a big city. People that need, you know, culture and there are fabulous things to do here. Cornell is a huge university and you can do all kinds of great things. There are museums and whatnot, but if you need a city, then you would not like it here.
What advice do you have for prospective law students looking at law schools in general, in Cornell in particular?
In general, I would say when you're applying to law school, be careful about where you apply to and make sure that you visit if you get a chance, because this is going to be your home for 3 years, and depending on where you go to school, you might stay there. You know, if you go to school in New York City, you might end up living there. Just make sure that you're really comfortable in the location. You know, just law school is hard. You want the rest of your life to go as easily as possible, really. So if you like where you are and if you're happy with your housing and with the town you're in and with the rest of the school activities that are available to you, you're going to be a lot happier.
I just think that when you come to law school, one of the things that I would say to start off with is make sure that you know why you're coming. You know, have a definite idea that you want to come to law school. It's a lot of work, it takes a lot of time. Both away from your family and away from yourself. You're spending a lot of time with the school books, and so before you come, make sure that you want to come and that you have a reason for coming.
Get ready to do some hard work, probably the hardest work you've done in your life, but it's doable and it's really nothing to get too crazed about. I think if you have a good work ethic as far as balancing being a normal human being and getting your work done, you'll get through it much easier. Cornell in particular, you know, get ready for the winters, but I find that it's been helpful because when you don't have a lot of distractions and a lot of fun things to do and a lot of friends calling you up and asking if you want to go get margaritas, you get a lot more done.
Enjoy law school, it goes fast, and it'll be over before you know it, and I think it's a lot more enjoyable than most people expect coming in. Everybody works pretty hard, but the classes are all really fun.
Specifically to Cornell, I would say if you're from somewhere warm, bring warm clothing. There's a lot of social activities, a lot of stuff going on in this town for its size, but don't expect it to be like Manhattan. This is not New York City.
I would say just be ready to do a lot of work, but it's not as bad as people make it out to be.